is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad. We have a jam-packed week, and we have a jam-packed crew to tackle that week. I have here Micah.
Hey.
Terrence.
What's up?
And Carrie.
What up?
We are laboring on Labor Day for the benefit of all of you. 2 weeks worth of news. I've played a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about that on the back end of the show. A ton of news. We got to get to it, but first we got to talk about the games that we have been playing. And Micah has a laundry list of titles that he has been playing recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Every once in a while, I'll hop on the eShop on the Switch. You know, I spend a lot of time up here in my office where I keep my Switch because sometimes you just got to get the fuck away from the family, right? And I keep my Switch up here, my other consoles downstairs. And every once in a while, when I'm feeling sad, I'll hop on the eShop, see what's on sale, what's there, and yeah. So a bunch of stuff. So
do some ill-advised retail therapy.
Yeah, exactly. I will start off with Astral Chain. It's a new game by Platinum. It is a Platinum game, and it's a good-looking Platinum game. It's a cool playing Platinum game, right? Like the story is just as stupid as everything. Like there are these monsters, but the police have learned how to control a couple of monsters. So they're essentially like your dogs, and they're your attack dogs, and you have them on this leash called an Astral Chain, and you can summon them. And there are like 4 or 5 different types. I only have the melee type right now. You can summon them. You can fire them at enemies, and they will go around and shoot and attack enemies at will. Meanwhile, you control your character, and your character can independently attack other enemies or the same enemy. It's wild, right? Because your character can like maneuver the Legion. That's the name of the thing. And you can do setups like you can, if you see an enemy is coming at you, you can clothesline the enemy with your Astral Chain. Like you can keep it taut and have your enemy or have your Legion on the other side and clothesline the bitch. And the different legions do different things. One of them you can use as a mount. One of them you can use as like a suit of armor, so you can do stronger melees. And it's a very unique way of playing a third-person action game. And you know, that's to be expected from the folks at Platinum. What is different about this game is that most Platinum games have a familiar, you know, action sequence, and then traverse to the next action sequence, and then traverse to the next action sequence. And that's the flow. This game, since you're a cop, you have different cases that you have to do. And there is, like, the flow is broken up a little differently. Like, you have your action scenes, right? Where it's you and your Legion, and you're going around doing all this badass shit, right? And when you're done, then you go into like investigation mode, and you have to solve cases, and you have to talk with NPCs. It's not just Bayonetta walking into an arena, killing everything, running to the next arena and killing everything. It's different, but it's not bad. I enjoy it. Something I enjoy a little more is Fire Emblem Three Houses. So this is my first Fire Emblem game. And I guess I can't really judge Fire Emblem on this particular game, because as far as I understand, they're very different from this game. But I got it because it's a tactics game, and I love tactics games. They're fun. This is a tactics game with like social elements. Like think a tactics game with the Persona style school settings. You play as an RPG hero, right? You don't know anything about them, and they're an orphan, and but they're like the chosen one, right?
So you play as Harry Potter, basically, in this Fire Emblem universe.
You kind of play Harry Potter. Like, the Harry Potter analogy is very apt, because you go to a school and you are the new professor there, and you choose one of the three houses that represent different empires in this world. And you build social links to try and help improve your students, and you do that so that you can send them off to battle. You can send these children off to battle. You can send these 16 to 18-year-old children off to battle and possibly die and never return.
Yeah, sounds a lot like a game that released this week that a lot of people are excited for. That will gloss over shortly. But yeah.
But it's really, really fun. It took me a minute. Yeah, I got this a while ago, and it took me a minute to kind of get into it, because the flow of the game took a bit of getting used to. Like, when I play a tactics game, I just want to jump in and start fighting, and just put me on that little grid, and let's just do this, right? But there are a lot of things about this system that's highly customizable that took me a minute to kind of get used to. But it's really fun, and it's really interesting, and all of these different children have vastly different personalities. Some of which you don't want to see die, and some of which, whatever. Look, Black Eagles. I'm a member of the Black Eagles, because the word "black" is in the name. So, I get it. Right. Thank you. But I love the Black Eagles. But Ferdinand, he died. Oh well, bruh. Like, you're fucking annoying. Caspar, if he died, I don't really give a shit. But it's actually very good, and the story is very, very intriguing. To my understanding, the story changes a little bit depending on which house you choose.
Do you think you're going to go back and play the other houses once you're done?
I might. So the Black Eagles are the red team. There's a blue team and a yellow team. I'll probably pick the blue team next, depending on how long this takes me. Yeah, I would do it just because some of them seem interesting, whereas people on the yellow team don't seem very interesting to me. So I might go back, depending on how long this first playthrough is.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Three Houses. I've been into Fire Emblem for a long time, but Fates was so fucking bad that like it ruins the whole franchise for me. So like I haven't picked up Three Houses yet, and everyone says it's just so good, and maybe I'll get around to it. But
yeah, I really enjoy it. Next up is a surprise that came on the eShop. Surprise! Bulletstorm is here. Bulletstorm, the game that originally came out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It looks, it's Bulletstorm.
Why did you buy this?
Again, look, I liked Bulletstorm when it came out.
Right,
I downloaded it on PS4 when they made it free.
I enjoyed Bulletstorm. This is fine. It's fine. It's Bulletstorm. It is exactly as you remember. Looks and all, right? Like it's amazing that the Switch is capable of handling a last generation game.
Yeah, 720p is a very difficult nut to crack, I guess.
But it's good. It's weird playing it in handheld mode. Like, I'm not used to playing first person shooters on handheld mode.
I do not like playing FPSs on those Joy-Con controllers. No sir.
Nope.
I wouldn't even try it.
No. But if you have a pro controller, it's great. The thing that makes this a little different is that you could play as Duke Nukem, which is kind of odd because
I noticed that you said different, but not better.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's different. Because Duke Nukem is in it, right? But the story doesn't change to the point where the characters who refer to the main character, his name is Gray, they still call the main character by his name, Gray.
So it's basically just a dumb skin.
It's it's more than that. It's a skin, but it's also Duke Nukem's like personality. Like when someone says, "Hey, Gray, come here," Duke Nukem says, "It's Duke. Who the hell is Gray? And why the hell am I even here? I don't know how I got here. But okay, let's go." Like, it's weird.
That's actually pretty cool.
And Duke Nukem is just kind of going along with it. Like, okay, whatever. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Like, it's very odd, but it's a different experience. It's a silly thing for an already just completely silly game, but it's fine, man. It's fine. And this next thing I bought, this is it for me, right? This is the last one. I bought Super Beat Sonic, and I was looking at the best sellers, and I'm like, what the fuck is Super Beat Sonic on here for under best sellers? So I click it, and I find out, this is a couple weeks ago, and I click it, and I find out that it's on the bestseller list because it was 89 cents.
That's what you get for choosing a Gene pick instead of a Vincent pick. You literally walk over to the fucking shelf and you're like, a Gene recommendation. And you bought it.
It was 89 cents. And I had enough Nintendo coins. I had 89 cents worth of Nintendo coins.
So you wasted them on this.
Super Beat Sonic is one of those rhythm games where stuff is coming at you and you have to time your button presses to the beat. That's all it is.
I think I've seen that on PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's on PS4 also.
Yeah. If you enjoy those games, and if you enjoy, look, it's all about the music when it comes to those games. And usually those games, their music is very like stereotypical, like if the Simpsons went to Japan, they would listen to this type of music. You know what I mean? Like, like just a lot of upbeat shit. But I kind of like some of that music. So if you like some of that music and if you like that type of game, it certainly was worth the 89 cents I paid for it. But I don't think it's on sale anymore. So I wouldn't necessarily get it if it wasn't 89 cents.
A rousing recommendation for Super Beat Sonic for sure. So I needed a game for my plane ride, and during some downtime while I was in Nashville last weekend. And so I was deciding between Guacamelee 2, Bloodstained on the Switch, and Dead Cells. I was going between those three. I really wanted Bloodstained, but they still haven't put out any performance updates for that game on the Switch yet, so I'm still not ready to buy it. Yeah, so I'm not. So I didn't end up getting that one. And then Guacamelee was on sale for $10, so I was like, well, that's it right there. And boy, am I glad that I did, because I forgot how much I enjoyed Guacamelee. Mike has talked about Guacamelee 2 on the podcast before, so I'll just give my impressions of it. I actually beat the main story already in the game. Like, that's how much I've been playing it over the past weekend. I have forgotten how satisfying like the combat is in that game. I forgot how in that style of game, like that Metroid style game, I really enjoy the pacing in that one, because they have the few sections where you have to execute on some very precise platforming to proceed, but it's broken up very consistently with the different combat rooms and stuff like that they make you do. And that's a lot of fun. Like I said, getting all the different wrestling moves and chaining the combat. I really enjoyed actually the upgrade path this time, because they had a lot more upgrades in this one than they did in Guacamelee 1. And it was really fun, doing it where you could just like build your combo meter to insane proportions and like kind of getting upgrades that would help support that against the different enemy types. I really enjoyed like the chicken moves that they added to this one as well, making that a much more well-rounded way to play. Just a super fun game. I'll probably attempt 100% it. That's going to be easier said than done because I've already wandered into some of the key levels that you have to get these keys to find like the chicken Illuminati, basically. And some of those sections are balls hard to platform through. So we'll see if I'm able to persist with that 100%ing of Guacamelee 2. But a fantastic game. Again, I don't think it's on sale anymore. But pick this up. It's fucking great. It's so much fun. And the other one with this one too is it is just dripping with other video game and like pop culture references strewn throughout it with the different Mexiverse dimensions that you can travel to. My favorite one being what was it? I don't remember what it was called, but it was the Street Fighter one where you're on the docks and you beat up the car, much to the chagrin of the guy who owns the car you're destroying. And then to get a perfecto at the end of that. So yeah, Guacamelee 2 is fucking fun. If you never played it, the Switch is a fantastic console to play it on. I played the whole thing in handheld mode, so very good there. My new obsession, though, is Slay the fucking Spire. So I saw Slay the Spire during one of the presentations that I got to see. I'd never heard of this game before. Played it at the expo that I was at for about 15 minutes. And then as soon as I got back to my hotel room, I immediately downloaded it onto my Nintendo Switch because this game is if you are the target audience for this game, which I very much am, it is addicting as hell. So Slay the Spire is a deck building game. So if you're not familiar with what a deck building game is, you start with a character who has a preset deck of like 10 cards, and they're very basic cards, and you have to make your way through different encounters. And there's minor enemy encounters, there's major enemy encounters, you might find treasure. They have like little rest stops along the way that you can either rest and gain some HP back, or you can upgrade one of the cards in your deck to a more powerful version of that card. And then they also have random encounters that you can run across as well, which could be a variety of things, sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but that you don't know what you're getting from those. And you progress up this path, and there's branching paths, so you have some agency over how you tackle each level. But what you're doing is you're trying to climb this spire, and every 15, encounters or so, you run into a boss fight. And if you beat the boss, then you'll get a very powerful card to add to your deck, and you move on to the next thing. And if you beat all 3 levels, then you win. But if not, then the game ends, but you gain XP. And as you gain XP, you unlock the ability to get more powerful cards and more powerful relics that you can potentially add to your deck. Because essentially, as you defeat enemies, as you gain treasure, you're going to get new cards to add to your deck. You're going to get relics, which have powerful effects that can, positively or negatively impact you as you go along. There's merchants that you can buy cards from. You can also use the merchants to call cards out of your deck, so you can get rid of some of your less powerful starter cards so that you draw your more powerful, the good cards that you get. But it's so much fun playing this style of deck building game where you can, kind of tune your deck to how the strategy is kind of working out for you in that run based on what cards are available to you and based on, the different relics that you get. And it's cool because it's a roguelike game. So like, even if a full run on the Spire takes about an hour, and if you get knocked out earlier, obviously you're not wasting a lot of time. So it's just easy to jump back in and just build some crazy combinations. Like I posted a video in the game group of a silly deck that I made with one of the characters, and I basically like 2-turned the final Spire boss who had like 400 HP, which is a lot in that game. So like that's the kind of shit that you can do. Tremendous amount of fun. If they have daily challenges as well, which are you do like a daily climb that has like insane modifiers attached to it to make things more difficult or give you like different powers. Once you have slain the Spire with the character, you can tackle doing it in what's called the Ascension mode, which adds basically handicaps, and there's 20 different levels of that as well. So if you get really good at the game, there's a lot of challenge there. Again, just a tremendous experience. I think it's $25 on the Switch. If you're into deck building games, or if you like roguelikes and you're looking for something that's a little bit off the beaten path, definitely check out Slay the Spire. I'm going to be playing this game for a long, long time. It's just been a tremendous amount of fun. It's on PC as well, so if you don't have a Switch, you can get it on PC. And on PC, it's actually better because they have mods. People have made, so there's only 3 characters in the main game, but people are just making new characters up and making decks for those characters up as they go. On the mod scene on PC, and apparently it's very easy to jump into that kind of stuff. So really fun game. But yeah, so those are the 2 things that I've been playing the most. Carrie, you are getting hype for that Iceborne. Apparently, what is it? Your husband that turned you on to Monster Hunter?
So I play in the Baltimore Gamer Symphony Orchestra, right? We know this. And our fall show is themed to like villains and battles and whatnot. And I'm on sort of like the committee that helps arrange music for the orchestra. And one of the other members came over to me and said, there isn't really like a true villain in Monster Hunter, but there is this one real pain in the ass monster, and his name is Basil Goose. And he just sort of shows up and ruins your whole day. And he's got his own theme.
He's a fucking asshole.
And he's got his own theme, and it's a cool theme, and you should look that up. So I started off just by sort of looking into who Basil was.
I require that you call him Basil Goose every time that you
Basil Goose. I've heard him called Basil Goose. I've heard him called Basil Goose. I've heard him called Basil Geis. I've heard him called Basil Geis. Like, I typically either call him just Basil or Basil, but or Bagel Goose. But yeah, so I looked into Basil's theme, and I was like, this song bops. And then my husband's been into Monster Hunter basically since it released on PC, and so he just sort of like dumped it on my computer and was like, you should play it. So I started playing it, and now I have like 65 hours into it. So yeah, I really like Monster Hunter. I guess like the difference, like I had tried playing Monster Hunter on like 3DS before when that version came out, and I really genuinely did not enjoy Monster Hunter on 3DS. But
it was harder, wasn't it? Like all the previous Monster Hunters were way more difficult than this one. This one has, if you can believe that, this one is way more easier to get into, because that's why I got 100 hours on it myself.
Yeah, it seems like just a lot of the quality of life improvements that they made. The difficulty curve is a lot easier to understand as far as the hunts that they have you doing. But yeah, I like Monster Hunter a lot. I play Lance. I like Lance. I've got some really good Lances now. And I'm working on getting into Hunting Horn, because I think Hunting Horn is fucking hilarious.
It's a support weapon.
Yeah. Buff your party by smacking them in the face with a bagpipe. So yeah, I mean, I finished like the main story. The PC version of Iceborne doesn't come out until January, so I've got plenty of time to get my hunter rank up so that I am adequately prepared for the Iceborne content at that time. But yeah, if you play Monster Hunter on PC, hit me up in the Facebook group and we'll do some hunts. We got like a whole Discord set up, and it's a good time. Monster Hunter is good. Also, like, yeah, Basil's a real pain in the ass. Like,
he's a bitch. Fuck that nigga. Like, because you'll be fighting. Because sometimes you'll be fighting like 1 or 2 monsters at the same time, and then he'll just come out of nowhere and just dive around with like grenades and shit. Like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah,
you appreciate it.
He can really fuck you up if you don't know how to handle him. My loadout right now is pretty good as far as handling Basil. So I actually I would consider Basil like my favorite monster. I really don't care for Devil Joe, because Devil Joe has had a habit of showing up when I'm hunting other things and basically just like taking those other monsters that I'm hunting and tossing them around like a fucking chew toy. Yeah, I don't care for the pickle that much. But yeah, at this point I'm like hunting elder dragons and whatnot, so I don't care for Lunastra.
I don't even think was that one of the original? Which one is that?
Blue Teostra.
Yeah. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some of them monsters, I had to take a break because they were pissing me off.
Yeah.
But I haven't played it in almost a year, so it's been a while.
Yeah. So
that's
Terrence, all I've been playing. I really I haven't played any more Kingdom Hearts since the last time I've been on the show. I've really only been playing Monster Hunter.
I mean, not playing Kingdom Hearts is I would consider to be like self-care. That's a good idea.
I still want to finish the series, but yeah, Monster Hunter is a much better game than Kingdom Hearts. So
cool. And then Terrence, since you have been on it a little bit, I didn't know if you have been playing anything new or not before we moved on to new releases.
Oh no, the only thing that I've been playing is actually No Man's Sky.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I have 75 hours into that game. New game. Because my old save, I had the very first time I bought it, the first time I played it back in 2016, I think I put like 25 hours into it. And essentially, you didn't really do anything. Like when Micah used to ask, what do you do in No Man's Sky? Nothing. Like you would literally kind of just go from planet to planet. They would be like different biomes and stuff. And then you would have to like harvest stuff to keep your ship from not being able to run, and you would just take pictures. And then you try to get to the center of the galaxy or something like that. That was the original No Man's Sky. Then they came out with a bunch of different updates. The next one was I thought Next was the biggest, but apparently Beyond is the biggest one. This one just adds a bunch of multiplayer features. Next added the majority of like the gameplay stuff. Like there are a ton of different biomes that you can fly to. Like they added building in the first update. I don't remember when that came out. So, but I didn't really get into it a lot there. When was the last time you played?
Oh, it's been
when it first came out?
When I think when Next came out, I jumped in for
last year.
Yeah, I jumped in for.
And then you were like, "What the fuck is happening?" And you just stopped.
I was overwhelmed, and I knew I'd have to start over, and I was still neck deep into playing Destiny 2. So I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to dedicate the time to this, so I didn't even worry about it.
Yeah. With that update, you can they added just a ton of shit. It's just there's a lot. What I've done since starting a completely fresh save. Again, I put 75 hours into it. Like I didn't really get a lot into the building when Next came out. I only put maybe like 3 or 4 hours into Next until because I got stuck on a planet because I don't know what the fuck happened. But anyway, with this update, you remember when it first came out, you could only have stacks of like 250.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As far as materials, you have 10,000 now.
Holy shit!
Like they were like, here, fuck it, 9,999 of any element. Like other things, you can only have like stacks of 5, but then they have cargo space where you can have stacks of 10 or 15 or 30. As far as like things that can only hold 5, so that helps a lot. Like
I'll say not having to worry about parsing your fucking carbon out between your ship and your person.
Like there's still so much to do that there's a lot of inventory things you got to work with. But that helps a ton. Building it's a little quirky. There's a lot of stuff that I want to build, but I can't really figure out. Like I have things in my head, but I can't put it down in the game.
You saw that Cyberpunk city, didn't you? That somebody made online.
Yeah, that was in build mode. Like you can do whatever the fuck you want in build mode. I'm in story mode.
Oh, okay.
So a little different. Like you have to have material to build, and like you gotta farm all that shit. And I'm not doing that. Like that's they just give you unlimited whatever. Just build whatever the fuck you want.
I mean,
that's another. Like if you want to play the game just to do that, that's a whole suite that you can do. It's pretty awesome. But go ahead.
I was gonna say I did see your walkthrough of your estate in No Man's Sky. It was the weirdest episode of Cribs I've ever seen in my life. So
that took me 3 hours because I started with the building and then I'm like, what can I add to this? And then the thing about this new update is like you have to power everything, which is fucking stupid. So what happened? Like you have to either have like solar panels or solar panels with the battery set up. So the solar panels will gather energy during the day. So when it becomes night, the batteries will kick in, and then you'll have the saved energy powering your base at night. So of course, it's solar power. Or you could try to find an electromagnetic field, which is usually really never, if you start building a base and you're like, oh shit, I need more power. So then you got to search. More than likely, it's not even nowhere near where your base is. So maybe like 600 units or whatever they call it, as far as like feet, it's like units away from whatever. So the one that I found was 700 units away from my base. And then, but your base is only 300 units around. So it wasn't within the confines of my base, so I couldn't fucking use it. So what you have to do is there's glitches that the people have found. It's like you can extend your base by building like walls all the way to that. So you build that and then you put the electromagnetic generators in that field, and then you got to run a wire all the way back to your base so you can power the entire thing. Like, I don't know why the fuck they added that. It's really a pain in the ass. But I don't get it. Like, people really don't fucking like it at all. Like, it's just annoying. But besides building bases, I've gone, like, there's a bunch of different biomes I've added. Wanted to start building an underwater base. I have a whole fleet of starships. I have a fleet of freighters that you can buy, which cost like hundreds of millions of credits. There's like A through C through S class ships that you can buy. You can send your freighters out on missions that they do in real time. So like you can send your freighter, you can send your fleet out on a mission. It may take 7 hours, like real time. So you send it out, 7 hours later you turn your game back on, and it'll come back with like either credits or like really expensive stuff you can trade in. You can do farming, which I showed in my video. That you use the actual plants that you plant. That also takes real time to grow. Some take 15 hours. I'm like, what the fuck? Some takes 3, some takes 1, some take 1. But then you harvest those, and then you create other things that you can sell for like $1 million a piece. So it's basically just collecting as much money as you can so you can buy more stuff, or you can just trade with other people. It's a lot. And I've actually run into other people like once or twice. In my 75 hours of playing, I've ran into actual people on different planets, which is kind of cool. Or you can just go to the Nexus, which is basically the tower in what's the game called?
In Destiny.
Destiny 2, that you can just meet up with a whole bunch of people and do like multiplayer missions. They're just like space combat missions, or take a picture of this planet, or kill this many animals on a planet, and then you just go back and then they give you credits for it. Like, there's a lot to do, and I still haven't done everything you can do, and I'm 75 hours into it, but it's fun. Like, if you liked it when it first came out, when you really couldn't do shit, like, you will probably love this game, because it's a complete 180. Like, it's really good.
I have to find time to get back to it. It's so hard right now, especially with everything that's coming.
If you don't have the time, don't even bother.
Yeah, it's gonna be
because the first like 8 hours is like is a tutorial, just to kind of teach you what the fuck to do. If you've never played it before, it's a lot.
And Micah's still not convinced. I can tell by the look on his face.
I mean, it's a point of pride at this point. Like, all that sounds cool, but like, no,
it's cool. I can't, and it looks better. Like, and it even looks better. Like, it's fun, man. Like, if this is your type of game, even if you just want to build shit, because there's a bunch of stuff that they've added, you can just build whatever the fuck you want. Like that Cyberpunk city was amazing. I don't know how the hell they did it. I have no clue. So. But it's a really good game. Like, they deserve. I mean, it's been 3 years, but they deserve a lot of credit for actually putting out the game that they told you that they were going to put out 3 years ago, and then some. To be honest with you, because there's shit in there that they didn't say you'd be able to do that you can do. So it's really good.
Is this essentially Minecraft, but like for science fiction people?
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, as far as the building aspects go, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fun.
Is that what they did? Did they trick us into playing adult Minecraft, basically? God damn it.
It's possible. Like, I'm sitting there searching for an S-class hauler now. Like, I'm like, the fuck am I doing? Like, for real, because it has 48 slots so you can hold more material. So, whatever.
No Man's Sky, the quest to accumulate more things is the subtitle of that game, basically. So
like, I think they cap you out at 4 billion units, 4 billion credits or whatever.
So you got to spend it. You can't just let it pile up in there. What are you going to take when you die?
I'm at 300 million now. I forgot I built a farm where you can mine material. I built a farm that gives me each time I pick up the material that I farm, I can sell it for 60 million.
Jesus Christ.
60 million credits or units or whatever the hell. That took me like to do that. But it's a whole different planet than my main base that I gotta travel to. But I have teleporters that I can do all that shit with. So
is it fucking weed planet? Like, what the fuck are you selling?
I weed in my basement. in my base.
I was about to say, I feel like the economy of the No Man's Sky universe is wholly unsustainable here. So,
and then I use that to create like lubricant and then living glass, and I can sell those for like a stack of 5, like 2 million or some shit like that. It's funny, like it's hilarious. Like I'm a fucking magnate in that game. But it's fun. Like, look, I enjoy it, and I can just build shit whenever I don't feel like exploring.
Well, there's at least one game coming out this week, Terrence, that might turn your head. But there's a lot of stuff coming out. We have 2 weeks worth of releases to go over. Starting with last week, Control came out for PS4 and Xbox One. Comes highly recommended by Jack. Crystar came out on PS4 last week. MXGP 2019 came to PS4 and Xbox One. Wreckfest came to PS4 and Xbox One. This might be one to check out for you Burnout fans out there. It's getting a lot of praise. It's been on PC for a while. Of course, we talk about Astral Chain releasing on the Switch. The Dark Pictures Man of Medan released on PS4 and Xbox One. This is a spiritual sequel to the Until Dawn franchise, for those folks wondering what that is.
Doesn't that take like the what's that author?
I don't know.
I can't remember what it is.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle?
No, it's the author. The Cthulhu, like.
Oh no, it's not.
It's
not a Lovecraft thing. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not that. It's apparently the first in a series of games they're going to be putting out, though.
Right.
All different themes. So, and then Risk of Rain 2 released on Xbox One, PS4, and Switch as well. This is the third-person roguelike action game that we saw first teased during the Gearbox presentation at PAX East several months ago. It looks interesting. I might check this out at some point. It looks like it might be fun. This week's releases, NBA 2K20 comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, which we'll talk about later on in the show for all the wrong reasons. Catherine Full Body comes to PS4. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered comes to the PS4, finally, for everyone that's been bitching and whining so long for Final Fantasy VIII. You are now getting that remastered. Monster Hunter World Iceborne comes to PS4 and Xbox One. Torchlight 2 releases finally on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Terrence, should we all go pick up Torchlight 2 when it comes out?
I played a lot of Torchlight. I don't know. Wait. Was that not on PC? It's been on PC.
It's been on PC forever.
Okay.
It predated Borderlands 2, basically, on PC, so.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, how much is it?
That is a great question that I don't know the answer to.
I think it is $20. I think, because I bought it.
Micah!
Did you play Torchlight?
Yes, and I enjoyed Torchlight, but I feel like I will get more out of Torchlight 2 for the simple fact
that it's on the Switch.
It's on the Switch. Yeah, that's it, man.
That's the thing. Like, I would want to play this on like on the go, and I don't have a Switch yet.
Yeah,
but I love Torchlight.
Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which released, of course, last year on PS4, Xbox One, is also coming to Switch tomorrow as we're recording this. And then, as it is a new month, we have new free games on PlayStation. You get Batman Arkham Knight and Darksiders 3 for free.
Batman Arkham Knight for $5, like 4 months ago.
Do you feel like that is $5 well spent, or are you angry now?
I mean, yeah,
save $5.
No, it was $5. Like, it's fine, whatever.
Didn't Darksiders just come out?
It came out like
less than a year ago. It's less than a year ago. So
I think that came out maybe November, December, if that long ago.
I think you're correct. on that. So.
But I wanted to play it, but now I get to. So
yeah,
cool.
For freezies. And then on Xbox One, you get the Hitman, the full first season for the entire month of September from the 1st through the 30th. There's a game. Say again.
Before, but I thought they did that before, but
I think PlayStation did. I don't think Microsoft did. There's a stealth action series, an episodic stealth action series called We Were Here, that you can pick up for free on Xbox One from the 16th through October 15th. And then the backwards compatible titles this month, from the 1st through the 15th, you can get Earth Defense Force 2025. And from the 16th to 30th, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, the most alliterative title that ever was.
People love that one. Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Mm-hmm.
That one
actually
people really love.
Really good, actually.
So pretty good month on both ends, I think. If you missed Batman, definitely check out Batman. I mean, that game, I was Batmaned out by the time Arkham Knight came out, but it doesn't mean it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination.
You have to deal with those fucking Batmobile sections, which are not fun.
Yeah,
But
you have to deal with it.
Yeah, you can't skip them. Like they were like, we put the Batmobile in there for the first time ever. Deal with it, and then they put it in the worst way possible. He doesn't kill, so they had like remote control tanks all over the city. Shut up, game.
Right. All right. Come on.
So, we have a ton of quick hit news to get by. We are going to probably give just a quick passing to most of these as we move on, because like I said, we spent a lot of time talking about games. They finally have revealed the full slates of Mortal Kombat 11 DLC characters that come with the combat pack. Of course, Shang Tsung and Nightwolf have already been released, but you're also going to be getting Sindel, Spawn, the T-800, and the Joker. Quick thoughts.
The Joker looks fucking
weird.
dumb.
He looks terrible.
The Joker's rendering looks fucking weird.
Like
People were pretty quick to point out that he looks suspiciously like the character in the porn parody of, like, Batman.
He really does look like the Pornhub version of Joker.
Yeah, we're getting the Pornhub variant of Joker. I think T-800 looks great. That like it honestly looks like a fucking photograph of Schwarzenegger.
I think this is why it took so long to formally announce this stuff. I think they probably had to finalize the licensing agreement for that and the likeness agreement for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Spawn looks like Spawn, so.
They're stretching this out all the way to March. Yeah.
I saw the date that Spawn was coming out. I'm like, the fuck is the point? But then again, I remember like Dragon Ball FighterZ came out like a year ago. Almost two. When did that come out?
Dragon Ball
2 January ago. It's been over a year and a half.
Last January, like January
2018.
2018? Yeah. Like they're still coming out with characters, but it's season 2.
Yeah,
3 or whatever.
Second or third combat pack. Right?
Like, these motherfuckers are coming out once a month, and he's not coming out for almost a year.
Well, that's the problem, right? Like, this is what happens when you don't want crunch. Like, NetherRealm was called out for having crunch issues. It's like, all right, well, you don't want crunch, you don't get a new character every month. Sorry.
That's
and
bullshit.
Here's
the thing. They knew that these are the characters that they wanted. And this is a fighting game, yo. Come on. Don't give me that bullshit. I want to see what his cape looks like in game.
Yeah.
Because most of the time they have him capeless, and I'm like, well, that's not really Spawn. That's just whatever. The cape is the iconic part of Spawn and his face.
I'm very curious to see what they do with it. Like you said, I think they're gonna cop out.
Because that's a lot.
Yeah,
like they copped out in the movie,
right?
Because the cape was so fucking difficult.
They're gonna cop out. They're gonna cop out and not have the cape and just have it materialize for certain moves, or they're gonna cop out and have it be like Superman's cape, and it's not the same.
Look, since the T-800 is apparently going to be in every game from now until the end of time, I'm just curious to see how they're going to shoehorn it into Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's going to be very curious to see how that happens. It's the third game that he's in. That's in this fall period.
Hey man, they got a movie coming out.
They do. Man, they must be paying fucking licensing all over the map right now. there's a game on Steam called Ion Fury. It's a old school like Doom style first person shooter. There was some homophobic content that's in the game, and they also found out that the creators of the game had made offensive comments in the past against trans people, talked poorly on social justice warriors, feminism in general. There's stuff in the game that's just blatantly homophobic. So they got some outcry. The developers of Ion Fury, who, by the way, have remnants of the old 3D Realm studio. So we talked about Duke Nukem. So there you go, right there. They said that they were going to donate to charity and edit out some of the controversial material in the game. Steam being Steam and fucking incels being incels, review bombed the shit out of the game upon this news. So the developers of Ion Fury have backtracked on this plan.
Wow.
The whole thing is fucking stupid. Just from like start to finish. From the people who put this content in the game now, admittedly, a lot of this stuff was in areas that are not accessible to the player unless they are like hacking the game somehow. But it's the idea of like, okay, cool, really, like it's fucking 2019 and we're putting like that kind of language in the game and thinking that people aren't going to stumble upon it. Like, it's fucking stupid. That's stupid. The decision to edit stuff out, I don't think is stupid, but the response to them being like, hey, we're going to take this completely inconsequential content out of this game with all the negative reviews, that's really dumb. And then their decision to backtrack and be like, oh, just kidding, we're keeping the thing in the game. So
here's the statement from them. Quote, we do not support censorship of creative works of any kind and regret our initial decision to alter sprite in the game instead of trusting our instincts. 3D Realms and Voidpoint stand together on this matter.
Now they did clarify. They did say the use of the word fag bag in an area that was inaccessible without hacking the game and was added by a developer without approval from anyone was removed a few days ago. We once again apologize for this text as it doesn't reflect the values of 3D Realms or Voidpoint. A portion of our community made it loud and clear they felt removing "oh gay" though was censorship and should be protected by free speech. We respected that decision. Jokes at the expense of marginalized communities will not be present in future games published by 3D Realms.
Yeah, Ogay apparently is a shampoo brand in the game. That's a cent of like Olay shampoo in real life.
Like
that's not funny.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's what I'm saying.
Oil of okay.
Yeah.
Like that. Where's the joke?
That's corny. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
What? That gay people are clean, and straight people have dirty ass ratty hair.
Why? It's almost like they probably shouldn't have put the content in the game in the first place. Perhaps.
Right? Yo, I don't understand bigotry. Yo, I really don't. Like, this is
look. There's a slew of fucking dumb straight men out there who barely want to wipe their ass because they think that anything going between the cheeks is gay. So
that's hilarious.
What?
Look, that sounds ridiculous. It's the truth, man.
There's grown ass fucking men out there with poo in their butt because they don't want to wipe their ass because they think that touching their own goddamn butthole with toilet paper makes them gay.
Yo.
Yeah, I honestly thought that shit was
straight men. Explain.
Yo.
Then some people were like, they legitimately like verified, and I'm like, y'all are retarded. Look, that's not a word I'm supposed to use, whatever, but that's ridiculous.
Being clean isn't going to make your dick fall off. I promise. I promise it won't. I promise that you will still be fully intact. Is it going to still be too small for you to deal with? Yes. However, at least you won't smell like 1,000 angry buttholes.
I had never heard that before. And that's fucking wild to me. What is wrong with people?
Wipe your ass, straight men.
Oh, fuck it. I'm as gay as the day is long then, man. Because I'm going to wipe my ass if I got to take a shit, yo. Like, what the fuck?
Look, I'm not even mad that they kept the stuff in the game. It's good to know which companies and which games that we should be avoiding if you don't support this bullshit.
Like, look, you can put whatever the fuck you want in your game. Like, I'm not gonna buy it.
I'm not gonna buy it, and I'm gonna actively discourage other people from buying it.
That's just ridiculous.
God damn.
So
apparently, I just don't understand the point. In general,
just
why?
for the fuck to fucking
funny.
trigger the libs, as they say. So, I guess. So apparently they are going to be donating $10,000 to the Trevor Project, which is a nonprofit which helps LGBTQ youth. That's good. Maybe just don't put that shit in your games in the first place, though, guys. Seemingly, PewDiePie, or PewDiePie, as we were fond of calling him here on this show, has reformed his ways.
Because that's how it's pronounced.
I understand.
PewDiePie. That's what I'm going with.
He recently became the first YouTube creator to attain 100 million subscribers. And apparently he's done it by turning his act around, and he is once again back in the good graces of YouTube, to the surprise of nobody, considering how much ad revenue he's probably bringing in.
Good graces.
Well,
dick YouTube.
So apparently he's...
Are we on YouTube?
We are on YouTube, yes.
We are.
Yeah.
No,
fuck YouTube.
Anyway.
We're not making money from YouTube though, so don't worry about pissing off YouTube. It's fine. Apparently he's done this by kind of focusing his channel back on gaming. Apparently he's been playing a ton of Minecraft, which has been making his advertisers happy because Minecraft is a very inoffensive game, of course. He's been using his fan base to support charities for various good causes, and so I guess YouTube is happy to embrace him once again. And he has found success by crossing the 100 million subscriber threshold, which is insane to me.
I'm giving him 2 more months before he says something racist again.
Yo, 100 million subscribers, man. That's a third of this country.
It is.
If it was all in this.
If it was all in the US, it would be literally a third of the country.
Yeah.
That is a lot of people, though. That is
to subscribe to this fucking... What is he?
He's
Swedish?
Yes, he's Swedish. Just general content creation, so... But he's got his fans.
And he's not funny. Like, I've seen his video. The nigga's not funny. You know? I don't get it. Like,
yeah, but you know what? Neither is Family Guy, and that's still on the air.
Look, Family Guy's funny, goddammit.
It was funny.
I haven't seen it.
It was funny.
A couple of years, but like when I watched it was funny.
So, an Amazon listing for a Power A Overwatch themed Nintendo Switch case was listed and then pulled very quickly thereafter. A couple of weeks ago. And so that's fueling speculation that Overwatch is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch very soon. Jeff Kaplan, who is the Overwatch game director, in response to this said that he is, quote, "I'm loving the Nintendo Switch. My second favorite gaming platform of all time is the 3DS, but getting Overwatch on the Switch is very challenging for us, but we're always open-minded about exploring possible platforms." So Overwatch for the Switch confirmed, I guess.
Yeah,
that was very non-denial. So, yeah, I don't see why they would have made a Nintendo Switch case that's Overwatch themed, if not for the game coming at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, that'll be interesting to see how that performs on the Switch. We'll talk about performance of high fidelity games on the Switch later in the show. Fortnite currently has some content where you can get some Borderlands crossover in the game. That's going to be active in Fortnite until September 10th. The Pandora Rift Zone has appeared on the map, which is very Borderlands themed. If you go long enough without taking damage in this zone, you will generate a shield. And there's some other surprises in there as well. There's a challenge bundle that you can check out too, which gets you Psycho Spray, a Vault Hunter banner, and other Borderlands themed items. So if you play Fortnite, you have that to look forward to for the next week or so.
Apparently, Fortnite doesn't give a fuck about crunch.
Oh no, they're pumping out that content.
Pump out content every other week.
They also have a shitload of developers working on that game, though. So many people.
Don't they have like mechs in that game now?
They do. We talked about it last week, I think, on the show actually. So the Mega Man Zero collection is coming to consoles and PC in 2020. I don't have much else to say on that. Telltale Games is being quote unquote revived. So all of their assets were purchased by a company called LCG Entertainment. The new company is going to sell some of the back catalog that they're not interested in moving forward with, and they're going to work on some new games based on Telltale associated properties, as well as some new licenses. And they are saying that workers from the original Telltale games will be offered freelance roles with this studio, with full-time positions possible in the future.
That's some bullshit.
Right. It pisses me off to say that they're reviving Telltale games. They're not. They're using the Telltale games name on a new company. That's what they're doing.
Oh, you might be able to get full-time employment and benefits, but work for us for fucking bullshit freelance rates for, let's say, 2 years first. Like, no. I mean, the way that Telltale went under to begin with was bad. And a lot of people lost their jobs, and I think a lot of those folks didn't get any severance out of it too. So to bring the Telltale name and presumably a lot of these properties back to the table and be like, oh yeah, we've got freelance opportunities. Fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, what else can you say? Like, fuck you, man. Like, this is, we know what you're doing. You're not giving people their jobs back. You're picking, you're grave robbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the name has pull. You just want the name.
Yep. That's right. That's pretty much
it. You may or may not get good developers on your team again, but hey, whatever. That's fucked up.
But we'll see. I'm sure we'll be seeing the championing of the return of Telltale games within a couple of years' time. So, quote unquote. If you missed Spider-Man last year, good news. The Spider-Man Game of the Year edition is now available. It's Spider-Man with all of the downloadable content already included. An interesting bit of news that I'm curious to get Micah's take on. Yakuza 7 was revealed last week. However, for the first time ever, it's going to have a turn-based battle mechanics system. Far different from the real-time action that previous Yakuza games had. Micah, what do you think about this new turn-based Yakuza?
I'm intrigued by it. Look, I like this franchise. I like the studio, but we've had 6 Yakuza games, a Fist of the North Star game, and Judgment, and they all play very, very similarly. So, it's a miracle. It's a miracle that this franchise has been as long running as it has been. It's a miracle that it has been revived and rejuvenated. I think they've earned enough clout to try something different.
But turn-based? Like, the game is known for its story and its combat. As similar as it is, it's known for those two things.
Right.
And all of the fucking the mini games that you can play, like baseball and fucking fishing and all kinds of
claw machines.
Yeah. And the arcade.
If they can pull off a decent story, I think people will get used to. People will get you because all these stories, they're good, but they rest on the characters. Like, the characters are what make the stories. And if you have interesting characters in this new Yakuza, I think people will give it the benefit of the doubt. Or maybe people just don't like change and will immediately say this is terrible. I don't know. But I would give it a shot.
I just think it's really weird that they chose turn-based combat for Yakuza. There was that one section in Yakuza 2 that they added where you had to protect the building site. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't like that at all. That shit was boring. It wasn't necessarily turn-based, but it was like you had to create a group of people and you would just fight on the board. It was weird. I don't remember, but I didn't really enjoy that too much. I just wanted to fight. But then again, hey, like you said, they have goodwill with their fan base to try something different. I hope it works. I'm not intrigued. I just want to see what it looks like.
So Destiny, Bungie continues revealing stuff about the new expansion and the new season that's coming out. They're going to be trying something that many other free-to-play games have done in the past, and that is that they are adding a battle pass system to Destiny. So each season of Destiny going forward is going to have a battle pass. You can get it for $10. It's completely optional. If you buy Shadowkeep, it will come with the battle pass for the Season of the Undying, which is the first season of the new expansion. It's going to be a battle pass, much like we've seen in games like Dauntless, in games like Fortnite, where as you do activities and gain XP, you'll level up the battle pass. Each level will unlock new rewards. There is free rewards that you can get if you choose not to pay that you'll have access to. But of course, you get premium rewards if you do fork over the $10. One of them is going to be, I believe, an exotic bow. They said that you can get for free if you can level up your battle pass to level 35 out of 100 levels. If you get the paid battle pass, I think you get that bow right away. They have rotating activities, so there will be new activities that are going to be coming in season 3 that will only be, for the new season in year 3 that will only be available for that season. So they're going to be introducing new stuff and taking it away. Luke Smith has said in the past that the game cannot grow infinitely, so this is something they're trying to kind of leverage that content. Each season will have a seasonal artifact that you can level up as well, that will unlock different perks that you'll have access to, and will also give you uncapped bonus power for your Guardian that runs across your entire account. It's not going to be character specific. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is stuff that we've seen in other games before. It's just very interesting to see it coming to a game that we are very familiar with and have a very established relationship with already, like Destiny 2.
Okay. I'm down for it.
It's cool. I actually like the battle pass model. I liked it a lot in Dauntless when I was messing with it, so this could be.
Yeah, I have no issue with the battle pass model in free to play games. The issue that I have with it is when they're not good, like the season 2 battle pass in Apex Legends. Like, that's awful.
And
because you still have to pay like $170 to get like that mega skin, or not even a skin. It's like an axe. And it doesn't do anything.
But
like
it makes you look cool.
$7.99 a piece.
Makes you look cool, Terrence. That's what's important.
You can't see your own character.
only when you do fucking finishers.
Yeah. It was insane to me when I saw it. I'm like, wow, you just really EA. Okay, cool. I don't trust them.
That's fair. And
I don't trust either. I don't trust EA or Activision.
And finally, PlayStation will not have a press conference at TGS this month. So much like they skipped E3, they're not going to be doing a stage presentation at TGS. They will still have a booth at the show, but no presser for Sony. Again, they don't have much to talk about right now, I guess, while we're waiting for PlayStation 5 to come along. So we'll hear more from them later on. So moving on, before we get into our main topics this week, make sure you go to youtube.com/DensePixels, click the red subscribe button to subscribe to the podcast. We post it up there in video format every week. Whenever I do Let's Plays, it is also on our YouTube channel as well. Make sure you check out the other TNP Studio shows like Black and Black Cinema, The Nerd Apocalypse, Coming Distraction, and the free 1-hour version of the Look Forward Political podcast. You can subscribe to all those shows on whatever pod-catching app that you use to listen to your podcast. And of course, if you're not a TNP Studios premium member, go to densepixels.com/premium. Sign up today, $5 a month, $50 for the entire year. You get weekly episodes of the Look Forward Political podcast, as well as our other premium shows, which include The Men with the Golden Tongues, No Time to Bleed, and the airing of grievances. So we go up there. Let's go to Carrie first. So there's been some major news in the industry this week of a few folks accusing some prominent industry figures of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and it's had a bit of a tragic end for one of those figures this week. So I'll let you get into this because I have a feeling you're the most well-versed of all of us on this story.
Sure. So basically, over the last week and a half, a few stories came out in the games industry about a few prominent figures in the game industry with accusations of mostly sexual abuse, but also emotional abuse and workplace abuse, especially. So the one that I noticed first was Jeremy Soule, who is a a music composer who has done just a lot of games for a lot of people. I mean, I think he's probably most known for his work on the Elder Scrolls series since Morrowind at this point. But he also worked on Knights of the Old Republic and Guild Wars. And I mean, I think it's appropriate to say he's had a prolific career in terms of video game music. So game designer Nat, I guess is it Natalie or Nathalie Lawhead, who basically created this big blog post as a means to identify him and pointing out the power imbalance in the relationship that they had, and the fact that Soul seemed to have a lot of clout in the industry that ultimately caused Lawhead to suffer workplace repercussions for refusing his advancements and stuff like that. So yeah, that for me personally, that sucked a lot. I've been a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls for a long time, and the music was a large part of that. And also playing in the Baltimore Gamer Symphony Orchestra, we were actually planning a show, like a whole program on games that were developed in Maryland, and that would include the Elder Scrolls. But we have decided to scrub Soul's contributions from the program and focus instead on the first two Elder Scrolls games, which both still have incredible music. So I'm looking forward to doing a program that doesn't include works of a rapist on it. So Soul came out and sort of declined it, basically said, well, these allegations are so old and I don't know how anyone could take them seriously, but not so much saying that
he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like why are you bringing up old shit? Response.
Yeah.
Just said.
And I think like another vocalist that Soul had used in some of his work had come out with some similar allegations following Lawhead's initial post. Now Bethesda, earlier this year, Bethesda sort of came out and said that they weren't going to be using Soul for Elder Scrolls 6. And it's sort of... It sort of makes me wonder if like they had started to find out about some of these rumors. Because apparently this was another one of those things where there were rumors about Soul for a long time, and people just kept giving him work. And now that there are actual like names to the accusations, it seems that folks are no longer going to be working with him. The Materia Collective, which is going to be publishing, I think, some of his albums or something like that, decided that they were no longer going to be working with him. So he has already suffered some professional repercussions. Before we get to Alec Holoka, I think I'm pronouncing that right. I feel like I'm not. I do want to talk about Luke Shelton, who is a programmer at British studio Splash Damage. Adelaide Garner, who currently works in tabletop RPGs, put out a lengthy Twitter thread accusing Shelton of sustained psychological and physical abuse that happened 2 years ago, saying every once in a while, like she said, every once in a while, like now, I realize I'm still terrified of him. He's a whole country away, and I will never see him again, and he has no way of contacting me, and I'm just as scared of him as the day I left his flat for the last time. I haven't seen any fallout regarding Shelton. But yeah, I think the biggest, or what turned into the biggest story of the week was Zoe Quinn, who developed Depression Quest and authored Crash Override and was the focal point of the fucking gamer goobers. She posted a lengthy account on her Twitter account, which she has since shut down. She shut down her Twitter account, recounting abuse from indie dev Alec Holoka, best known for his work on Night in the Woods, though he did do other games like Aquaria. I just think Night in the Woods because Night in the Woods picked up a lot of Steam and I think won a few awards and whatnot. But basically saying that he abused her over the period of several weeks and sort of trapped her at his apartment in Canada. And Scott Benson, who worked with him on Night in the Woods, wrote that we believe Zoe's account on Alec's actions. We're sad and we're angry. And they decided to sever ties with him. They canceled like the physical release of Night in the Woods, which would have gotten Holoka like a pretty big paycheck, presumably. And ultimately, Holoka committed suicide last week. So it's a tricky situation. His sister Eileen said that Alec was a victim of abuse, and he also spent a lifetime battling mood and personality disorders. I will not pretend that he was also not responsible for causing harm, but deep down he was a person who wanted only to offer people care and kindness. Took him a while to figure out how. In the last few days, he was supported by many Manitoba crisis services. I want to thank everyone for their support. But yeah, ultimately, he killed himself following the exposure of his alleged abuses and whatnot. So,
I mean, we talk all the time about how video games are a great way to escape from real life, but video games are not insulated from the politics of the real world. They're not. We've seen so many examples of that in the past several years, and like Carrie mentioned, Zoe Quinn is central in this story, and Zoe Quinn was also central in Gamergate, which exploded and became essentially what we now know as the alt-right movement in this country.
Right.
Essentially. So that started here and then exploded past video games. So you can't ignore it. And there's been a reckoning for sexual predators and sexual harassers across the country and across the world during the Me Too movement. And frankly, it was only a matter of time before something explosive dropped like this.
Yeah, I
would say.
I mean, it's an incredibly nuanced situation. I think, I believe women. I think, based on what Quinn said, based on what other members of the Night in the Woods dev team have since said about him, based on other accounts online, I fully believe that Alec Holoka was an abuser. However, I don't believe that means he should have died. I think he was clearly a very troubled individual, and that those troubles expressed themselves in the way he had abusive behavioral tendencies. I think it's really unfortunate. My biggest concern, and it's already started to happen, is that people are using this as a rallying point against victims of sexual abuse.
Right. Look what she did. She's lying.
She made him kill himself.
Yeah, that she made him kill himself. That false accusations ruin men's lives. Look at him. He was the victim of this situation, and ultimately he was the victim of his own situation, absolutely, but he didn't kill himself because of one incident. It's tough. I think that Me Too coming for the games industry is a long time coming. And I want to see these people held accountable for their actions. I mean, women have said over and over again that they don't necessarily feel comfortable working in video games. We saw last year with Riot being held responsible for their sort of bro culture that this is a cultural issue in the video game industry, and my concern is that the issue will be swept aside because one likely abuser chose to end his life. So
this is a cultural issue. Full stop. Period. Not just the video game industry. Like it's.
Oh no! I mean it's across the board.
Like,
but
God damn. You know?
Yeah. So.
But then again, like the majority of the video game industry, what's the percentage as far as white males like as a whole in the video game industry?
I don't.
It's really fucking high.
Is it? Is it really that high?
Bad high.
I don't know.
It might. Like I'm gonna go 97. Fuck it. Like I don't know.
I can't imagine it can't be that high, but it's probably pretty high.
It's got to be no less than like 75.
It's definitely probably majority. I would say.
I would probably say like 80. To be real, an honest number would probably be 80%.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, but it sucks that he killed himself. But then again, like you said, that's not the only. Like that one incident isn't the reason, and he had to have had other issues.
Right.
It's
right.
Yeah. I mean, look, I feel kind of bad for the guy. But at the same
I sympathize
time,
for his family more than anyone.
I feel bad about the situation.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know this person, so I don't know what to feel one way or the other. It's always sad when someone decides to end their life, but you know, at the same time, I can have two independent thoughts, and feel bad for that person killing themselves, and still. Believe that women get the short end of the stick in this industry because they get the short end of the stick in life. Like it just, and there's gobs of evidence to prove it. So
right.
Yeah, man, this is and like you said, Carrie, this is going to be co-opted into something that you know. This woman accused him, and she obviously is lying, and he killed himself. Like, you know, first of all, no one has ever accused me of doing something inappropriate. You know why? Because I don't come off that way. Generally, if you don't come off that way, and I'm speaking for anecdotal evidence, right? If you don't come off like a creep, people won't generally accuse you of being a creep, right? Like theoretically, yeah, you know, someone could report a false accusation, but you know, theoretically, the moon can crash into the earth, right? Like, yeah, in theory, it could happen. Probably not going to. So how about everybody just treat everybody else? Goddamn, treat everybody like family. You wouldn't push up on your sister like that, would you?
Ew.
Exactly.
I mean, some people would. You know that.
Yeah.
That's the wrong analogy.
Yeah. Apparently, step fantasy is in.
And it's my biggest pet peeve. Well, I will fight anyone. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like if you accuse me of doing something that I did not do, like you're not gonna do that. And if you do, I'm going to do whatever it takes in my power to prove that I did not do that shit.
Right.
Before I kill myself. Nah. I'm not. No, absolutely not. Nah. So, like he did that shit. It sucks that he killed himself, but that nigga did that shit.
But I feel like he did it.
You're right.
I feel like he did it.
I mean, his sister basically she didn't admit it, but she's like, I'm not going to say that this is a lie.
Yeah. So. At no point has anyone close to him said that these allegations are impossible or anything like that. Everyone around him is sort of like, yeah, he was
troubled, and
yeah.
So
like that's literally what she said.
I choose to look at this more optimistically. I mean, we a tragic ending of this specific story aside, what we did see is someone posted an accounting of the abuse that they suffered. It encouraged two other people to come forward as well, and I would hope that the way that this one situation ended does not deter women from continuing to come forward, And I'm really, I hope nobody else comes forward because I hope that there's no other incidents that need to be talked about. Yeah, but at the same time, right there, I'm sure there is plenty more where that came from. And like I said, these people need a light shined on them. They do.
Yeah.
Like I said, Jay says all the time, sunlight is the best disinfectant for, atrocious behavior. And I hope that people still find the courage to continue to come forward in these situations. So.
Yep. That's my hope. I am not quite as optimistic as you are that will actually happen.
And I understand, totally understand why. But I think we've seen that groundswell too much in the last couple of years that I think people are finding it within them to do that, which is good because these people need to be called out that are not participating correctly in our society. Let's say. To put it lightly. So to shift completely off of that very heavy topic onto something a little bit more lighthearted, but also kind of serious.
Fucking 2K.
Terrence, tell us about the My Team trailer for NBA 2K20.
Yeah, so last week a trailer came out for the My Character or My whatever, I don't know what the fuck it's called, of My Team trailer came out last week for NBA 2K20, and it was literally like pachinko machines.
There was more gambling than there was basketball in that trailer,
and like slot machines and card packs. Like that's all it was. That's what the trailer was for.
Yo, they had slot machines in it. like literal gambling, like literal video representations of physical gambling devices.
It was a casino, essentially, to collect cards and VC points, whatever the fuck they use in NBA 2K, so you can improve, so you can get like special characters. They're NBA players, first of all. Like people were like hyped because they got a LeBron James card. Isn't he in the fucking game?
He is. My team is their analog for Ultimate Team, where you get players, and you build like a custom squad that you can then take online online and play against other people.
So you can't just like pick up these characters. Was it like 2015 LeBron James? Like I don't understand. I stopped playing NBA 2K.
Well, so Terrence, they apparently have cards that you can now evolve like Pokemon into better versions of these other NBA players.
So essentially, you use, I guess, in-game currency, or you could just pay real money to get the in-game currency that you could spend in the casino that they have in the game, so you can collect cards for players that you should already be able to play with. Anyway, don't buy this game.
Now, to be fair, I'm going to be fair. The shit that they show, like the gambling stuff in the game, is not actual gambling. Like you're not actually like spinning a slot machine and the chances that you'll get. Like it's like a bonus that you can get one of 5 different bonuses based on like what slots you pull. The actual gambling mechanics in these modes is the card packs themselves. And that's not what these are.
So what the hell was a slot machine thing about?
Just the worst look that you could possibly the worst look that you could possibly imagine. In the current culture that we are in gambling culture.
So it is a joke. So they did it on purpose. They said go fuck yourself, and they were like, we're literally gonna put a fucking slot machine in this game
and a pachinko machine
opening the cards
and a prize wheel. And we're gonna have picture-in-picture cut-ins of some dudes really getting hype about their slot machine pools that they're
content
doing.
Creators. That's who they were. They were content creators, like
actual ones.
I believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a good look, man.
Cut them a check, man.
That's not a good look.
They got money for it. Like that's sad, but look, I don't understand. I don't know where games are going now. Like this is a sports game, right?
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to be.
Supposedly,
allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Like they literally put like trailers in the beginning of NBA 2K that you have to watch at this point. Trailers for television shows, like they put like Snowfall. They put the trailer for Snowfall in the beginning of the game when you cut it on that you have to watch. You can't skip it.
Here's something that no one else is going to talk about regarding this game and this franchise and all sports games and athletes. in general. We talk about it with college athletes, but the same thing happens with professionals. These people are treated as commodities, and this my team, this pick a pack and create your different like roster of people. Like, these are human beings, guys. Like, they're not trading cards, guys. Like, this isn't.
No, but now you can't say that, because we had trading cards as
yeah, I would
kids.
say trading cards are a thing that exists.
Like, I didn't collect trading cards.
I didn't.
Sell for thousands of dollars when you were like, people still have cards that are probably worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in a collection. So this is not any different. This is not new. This is just the evolution. And you don't own these cards.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it is worse. You don't own them. They're digital. But my thing is, like I was saying, I think I may have lost connection. I was saying that this is rated. Oh, I did. Yeah. It's rated for everyone. And like it's visually, it's literally gambling, right?
That's my biggest issue is that fucking children play this stuff, man. Like, you don't need to be throwing fucking casino games at kids.
You're visualizing these card packs being opened as like pachinko machines and slot machines and all this, and like a Wheel of Fortune wheels and shit like that. That's fucked up. But then you got to remember, like, the ESRB was created so they could they rate games, but they created it themselves to regulate themselves. Mm-hmm. So they don't give a fuck.
They will. Trust me, they will.
As long as it doesn't say AO, they don't sell AO adults only games. But like, technically, there's no violence in the game, so it is rated E for everyone.
You're gonna see enough groundswell to change this, I think, at some point. It's because of shit like this that it's gonna happen, because this, like, people abusing this crap is why we can't have nice things.
Stop buying people and selling them. Stop it. Stop buying athletes virtually for your goddamn video game, and stop gambling for it. Imagine, like, you think this is what slave masters did? Like spin a wheel to get one of these big black bucks, and then there's a booby prize, and there's me. There's 4 Demetriuses, and then there's me. Like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Anyway, yeah, this shit is gross. Like, I know you were trying to be fair, Brad, but like, trailers are indicative of what the game. Trailers are supposed to be indicative of what the game is supposed to be, and all I saw was the MGM Grand at the National Harbor. That's all I saw.
No, it's silly, but meanwhile, Mike is going too woke, I think, with his take on this one.
No, I'm tired of my black brothers and sisters being treated as slaves.
If it makes you feel any better, in FIFA, I mostly buy white German guys, so
it's what they deserve.
So
no.
So we're gonna wrap it up this week with basically what I got a chance to play and see at the GameStop Expo last week. First of all, I will say Nashville, delightful city, lots of excellent food and drink.
Did you get some hot chicken?
I got several hot chickens at several different places. I made it a point to try many different hot chickens.
Nice. Did you make it a point to go see Cam?
I did not. Cam keeps needling me for not messaging him, but I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not, because then he said no. I genuinely appreciate the fact that you didn't try to make me drop everything to go see you. I only had one night that I could have hung out anyway. I just forgot.
Did you go to the Opry?
Did not. We were not on that part of town. We were in the downtown area where Broadway was. So basically, Nashville
did you
has
see
like
Jeff Jarrett's home.
I did not see Jeff Jarrett's house, sadly.
Did you check out Third Man Records?
No, instead I got to see like Fells Point on steroids. Basically, is what I got to see
Broadway
down there.
Lit, man.
Yeah, it's serious, and there was at least, and I'm not exaggerating with this number, there were at least 150 bachelorette parties roaming around town the several days that I was down there. So, but it's still cool. But also cool was the stuff that I got to see and play. We'll talk about the C's first, then we'll talk about the games that I got to play. So, Micah, you wanted to know about The Last of Us 2, and about what that... I mean, it's The Last of Us. Like, do you like The Last of Us?
Not really.
All right, then I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't sweat it.
Yeah, it doesn't play like. Does it feel any different? Does it play any different? Is it still just?
It looks the same to me. Except Elsie or whatever the fuck her name is very, very adept at the combat. She's learned a lot over the last several years.
I don't know what I thought I was going to get with The Last of Us 2, but I thought it would be something a little different than just The Last of Us, which is just Resident Evil, if you think about it. Like
it's like Resident Evil combined with Uncharted, basically.
All right, if the Uncharted people made Resident Evil, yeah, then that's it. But yeah, I don't know. And that game was like it brought about, the original brought about a lot of like unnecessary stress for me. Like I was always tense playing that game, but not like tense in like a horror movie type of way. Like I don't know, man. I just didn't enjoy myself playing that game.
I understand that, and I didn't like it either. So we're of kindred spirits in that. I will tell you that based on some context clues that I picked up, that game's probably going to come out in the spring before PlayStation 5 releases. So perhaps look for that maybe in May or June. That's what I'd be predicting right now, just again, based on some context clues. I know that CD Projekt Red released a new gameplay demo for Cyberpunk that they streamed on Twitch. I actually got to see that demo, but I got to see the uninterrupted version of that. It is the best parts about those style of games, just being able to really role play and really design a character with a skill set that matches the style that you want to play. That looks very cool. I got to see some of like the net running sections, which looks interesting. I just can't wait for that game to come out. I almost don't need to see anything else about that game. Just make it April and give it to me. Because didn't that game cool.
Also run into some controversy?
Like this
past weekend about the instead of gender, they just put like body type. They took out gender and put body type instead, so you can create a character, and you can swap out like the male or female voices. You can give a female voice to a male character, or a male character a female voice. So it's whatever. Yeah, but people hated that because apparently it's the libtards that did that, and now you can't create you can't just create a male character anymore. Now they got to be gender fluid or whatever bullshit these fucking lefties, right? I hate people,
it's literally built into the story of the game. It's all about modding your body, yo.
It's cyber. They have body modification.
No, Micah, nothing changes over the next 51 years. Nothing.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah, people are fucking dumb. And remember what game did that first? I don't know if it did it first, but it did it pretty well.
Saints Row.
Yeah. Because I did that shit. I just wanted to see what the hell my character what it would be like to have my character with a male voice or a female voice.
Nolan North's voice.
Foolish. But you could do it. And they went crazy with it. Like you could have a male character and you can give him tits if you wanted to. Yeah. And I know in Saints Row 2 at least.
And give him a zombie voice, because why not?
They had 6 voices for that game. 6 people did the script for that game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But so people are fucking dumb. Anyway.
So I got to see the gameplay trailer that they showed off to press at E3 for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That was the subject of many different, or not gameplay trailer, gameplay demo. That was the subject of kind of an insight into how serious in tone that game is going to be. I said it before, hearing about the stuff was uncomfortable. Watching it play out was also very uncomfortable. The mission they showed was you are on like a Black Ops team going through a brownstone in London because a terrorist cell is holed up there. And it's very different than Call of Duty gameplay that I've ever seen, because it's very slowly paced, You got the night vision goggles on the entire time. You're slowly and quietly going room by room, clearing them out. There's, parts where you jump in a room and, there's a woman inside. She's like, oh, don't shoot. And then she turns around to grab a shotgun and the dude fucking, takes her out real quick. Like that's hard to see. There's a woman where one of the guys kicked in the door and there's like a mother holding her baby. And I'm just like, oh, please don't shoot that. Please don't shoot that, mom. Like, please don't do that. Like, fortunately, they're able to detain her without having to shoot her. But it's just a very realistic look at what modern conflict is like, basically. And you're either going to think that that's really cool and enjoy that, or you might be like me and don't need that level of intensity in your escapist first person shooter.
Do you think that they'll actually have like something meaningful to say about the depictions of violence like that?
I am skeptical
it's
to
Activision.
that degree.
I don't trust them.
Because it's one thing, all right, you're doing this shit for shock value. On a weird level, I kind of get it, but normally it's to comment on the horrors of war. Like war, like there's a whole lot of violence in Rambo, but it's all about like, him not wanting to succumb to that. But that's the only thing he knows. It's the only thing he knows how to do. It's who he is. It's who he was born into. But it's Call of Duty, yo. Like you're gonna play like if you even play the campaign, you're gonna just brush that shit off and commit all those horrible acts that you just did in the campaign, but then you're gonna get a little plus 10 above the fucking victims that you shot in the head. So it's one thing to do it, but I'm very curious as to see how they handle the horrors of modern warfare.
Right. Now, what did look cool, and I don't know if either of you guys got a chance to play that this weekend when they were doing the alpha, the 2v2 mode looks like the most fun thing in that game, basically. So
I didn't bother downloading it.
Yeah, so in the 2v2, it's you play in rounds. It's first to 6. There's small maps, obviously, to encourage confrontation quickly. You start with certain weapons, the type of weapons that use rotate from round to round, and you just have to kill the other team. And if you don't kill the other team within 30 seconds, a capture point pops up, and the first team to hold down the capture point wins the round. It's quick, it's fast, it's fun, it's fluid. If I'm going to play the new Modern Warfare, that's probably the only mode that I'm even going to bother fucking around with because it just looks like a lot of fun. So 2v2 looks interesting. Looking forward to playing that. Got to see an extended trailer for The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch. And, they probably shouldn't have shown that to me on a 200-foot screen. Because they certainly did fit the entire Witcher game with DLC onto a 32 gigabyte cartridge, which is commendable.
But God, at what cost?
But at the cost of a lot of resolution that for that game. I'm pretty sure they said this, and from the trailer, you can tell that game is running at 540p on the Nintendo Switch.
So, like, you don't even bother putting it on, like, the dock?
Oh, no. Just play that in handheld mode. because it's under resolution for the handheld mode. Like the handheld is capable
the handheld runs
of 720. Yeah.
720.
But so the way I likened it to these guys before we started recording is when I got my LASIK done, the night afterwards, after I had spent the whole day resting my eyes, and I went out in my car in the car at night with my wife, and there's these halos around every light that you see. That's what it looked like for The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch.
It is
Commendable that they did it, but if you like fidelity, that is not the version to play of Witcher 3.
What? I might do it anyway.
I'm saying, is there even a point in putting that on a handheld?
Just to say
for the sake of having it on a
they
handheld.
did it.
Like I
They
would
were like, I'm gonna prove we could do it.
Yeah,
They just to prove they could.
Yeah.
I would want to play it just for the sake of playing it.
Now, I got to see character gameplay of all of the different Avengers character in the new Avengers game. And let me tell you, that every single character that they showed kind of fought the same way pretty much in the little snippets that they showed us. Like I mentioned to Micah in a text message, if there's anything that Iron Man is known for in the Marvel universe, it is his close quarters combat fighting as he runs up and punches and kicks people in the face.
Squaring up and giving a guy a 2-piece. That's Iron Man.
Micah, you had a very smart reaction as to why this probably is in the game.
I think I said that it was probably, so this game is apparently going to have a bunch of different characters that will become available. And with these characters, they have all these fantastical powers, right? Like they're very different from one another. Like the Hulk and Iron Man are two vastly different people with two vastly different power sets. So the only way I can figure that you cram a bunch of different characters in it, like Ant-Man, and the only way Ant-Man, the Hulk, and Iron Man can all be in a game that's playable together is if they all play similarly with like a couple different tweaks here and there because of the different power sets. I mean that's the only way I can.
Because I've played Ultimate Alliance 3. That's the other game I've played. That game's good. And those characters don't play the same in Ultimate Alliance, so why the fuck are they playing the same in a game that probably has less characters than Ultimate Alliance?
Well, in Ultimate Alliance, there are a certain number of certain
prototypes, right?
Right. Like everybody, like, yeah, the Wasp has a move where she shoots rapid fire things. So does Iron Man. So does Black Widow. So does Hawkeye. You know what I mean? Like those are different characters, but they all have a rapid fire move. There's a rapid fire move, a slam move, a launcher move, and a rushing move. And every character has some sort of variant of those moves. Now they are animated differently, yeah, but that's essentially what they are. Because again, you got 36 characters in it. There's only so much that you can make them play differently. And they each have different, like not everybody has a beam move, right? Captain America doesn't have a beam move because he doesn't shoot beams, but Cyclops and Iron Man do. So different characters have different combinations of the archetype moves, but they're still archetype moves.
Yeah, they also talked about how each of the 5 main characters is going to have like a campaign playthrough, a story. Like they're going to look at the story from each of their perspectives, essentially. And then they said the other part of the games, they're going to have these like world events, and that's where you can do like the team ups. And the way they made it sound makes it sound an awful lot like when they were describing it, I was hearing like strikes in Destiny. And that's not.
I thought that was what people were saying to begin with when they once they started getting a little bit more information about the game.
But if all you have is story and then strikes, and those are the 2 tenets of your game, and you want people to play this a lot and grind for things, that's not a recipe for success. Because strikes are fun the first 10 times you play them, and then you are on autopilot just getting to the end because you need to get the loot, and you're not really paying attention to what's going on in the game.
Let me ask you something, Brad. Did you play Destiny?
I do.
Did you? Were you a day one Destiny 2 fan?
I was.
I don't think you were a day one Destiny 1 fan.
No, I wasn't that.
This sounds a lot like Destiny 1.
But at least Destiny has exotics. At least Destiny had PvP that you could go do when you were tired of doing PvE stuff.
Like what the fuck is the carrot on the stick for this game? Like, there's like a different costume for the characters?
Basically, like different gear, which is going to make them look different. Which I'm assuming you can power up some of that. Again, details are still scarce. I'm hesitant to cast wide nets, but everything I've seen so far makes me very scared.
Like, I could see if you could create your own superhero eventually.
Nope.
But like, not with the the Avengers, and then they're going to be adding other characters into it. I'm like, okay, cool, but like, they're those characters. I don't really give a fuck about dressing them niggas up and grinding to do so.
So is this Marvel's Anthem?
I mean, so far it has been. They have promised 2 years of content that they're going to support the game with, so we'll see.
You can't do that with every game, Stop. Okay. All right. Okay.
So that's what I saw. Now we can talk about what I've played. I'm going to do the Nintendo ones first because I'm sure Carrie has some questions about Link's Awakening. So I played Link's Awakening. The demo that I played starts you at the beginning of the game, and you get as far as you can get in 15 minutes, and then that's where you cut off. I was proud that I was able to get into at least get into the tail dungeon about halfway into it during that demo. I'm shocked at how much I remembered from Link's Awakening, even though I haven't played that game in over 20 years at this point. It looked great. I really like the art style they're going with. It's familiar yet different than any other Zelda game that's out there. The way that they've done it, being able to quickly map stuff on the pause and quickly map stuff, because I remember the Game Boy game was not, the inventory management in that game was atrocious. Yeah, it's nice having extra buttons to be able to just equip multiple things. That's a big plus with this one. It just looks good. It looks solid. I can't wait to play it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've wanted a 2D Zelda game for a while, a new one, and Link's Awakening will certainly fit that bill for that.
I've wanted a new one since Link Between Worlds,
and I didn't even play that. I didn't even play that one. So
it was really good.
I don't think I had a 3DS at the time.
Oh my god!
If they release it on Switch, I'll buy it on there.
Dude, I'll let you borrow one of my 3DSs. Link. I have two.
Okay.
I'm not that crazy. I have a regular XL and a small new 3DS. God, Link Between Worlds was super good. But like, I'm glad to hear that Link's Awakening is really good. I have the Dreamer edition pre-ordered. I mean, Link's Awakening was, for me, the game that sort of like tipped me over the edge into video gaming as a hobby as a kid. Before I discovered The Legend of Zelda, I really only played Pokemon, and I sort of was introduced to Link's Awakening at like a block party shortly after the Game Boy Color version came out. So yeah, I mean, I'm super looking forward to it. I guess I wouldn't say I have any questions about it. I'm just like, I'm glad to hear that it's good and that it looks good and plays really smoothly. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing a lot of the remastered music for the game. And yeah, it's a day one purchase for me. So
I also played Luigi's Mansion. That was my first experience with any Luigi's Mansion game, by the way. I never played any. I didn't have a GameCube, and I certainly didn't buy Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS.
Fair.
So it looks very cool. If you like puzzle games, like environmental puzzle games specifically, it's going to have that in spades. The boss fight that I ran up against was much more difficult than I was anticipating it being. And it was
Did you get to play as Luigi or
I got to play as both Luigi and Gooigi, actually, as well, because you need Gooigi to solve a lot of the puzzles in the world around you. I do enjoy the ghost busting mechanic in the game, because basically you have to like stun ghosts, and then you can vacuum them up in your vacuum and then slam them on the ground to deal them damage. It was fun. It was a good time, and obviously some of the ghosts have different mechanics that you have to learn. Like one of them has a shield, so you have to like use your plunger to pull the shield away from them before you can attack them, that kind of stuff. It's nice. It's pretty simple, but again, if you like that style of game, it looks pretty good, and it looks like it's going to have a lot there when the game releases.
I'm just glad that in the year of our Lord 2K19, we have an official Nintendo character named Gooigi.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, it is the most accurate description of a character in a name that you've ever seen in your entire life. So
it's Luigi made out of goo.
That's right. So the one that I would imagine Micah would be most curious to learn about is the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo that I played. So the demo that I played was a very small slice of the game. It is you descending into the first, apparently it's pronounced Mako, by the way. Never knew that for fucking years.
I found that out when the Advent Children movie came out, and they were like, Mako, Mako, Mako. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Ooh, all this Mako energy. What the fuck is
it's
Mako?
Not Mako anymore. It's Mako, apparently. Sounds like a shitty kid's toy, but all right. So, basically the last descent into the first Mako reactor, and then the fight against the Scorpion turret base, or the Scorpion boss. That is the first boss that you face in the game. So the combat system is a lot more it wasn't as nuanced as I thought at the beginning, but I could see it growing more nuanced as you acquire new skills and new abilities for your characters. So if you guys saw the E3 trailer, you saw that you have, you can slash with an attack button in real time and dodge and stuff like that. And while you're doing that, there's a progress and what's called the active time battle bar that fills up below your character. And you have two sections of that bar. And as soon as you have at least one section filled, you can basically stop the action. It doesn't actually stop. It just slows it to like a crawl. And choose from a list of commands and execute different abilities, and that's where like your special moves and your magic spells and stuff like that come into play. And you can switch between characters freely, or you can command characters with a macro thing as well if you want to. Where this is interesting is that you can do attacks every time the bar pops up if you want to, or you can save them and save up two sections so that you can execute two attacks simultaneous, or back to back if you want to. Or some of the more powerful attacks will require more sections of that gauge in order to execute them. So it gives you a little bit more agency than I suspected that you might have with this, and it's important for fights like against the Scorpion, because obviously if you've played that fight before, there's points where the enemies can be the weakest to certain attacks. So there's certain points where it's smarter to save up those bars and then hit him with like a double shot of thunder magic, basically, while he's weak and things of that nature. So the boss battles in this game are going to be extremely cool because they're very cinematic, multifaceted. Much like in any RPG, the grunts that you run up against are going to feel like boring and repetitive and tedious as you go along, just because it's going to be, you can kind of fly through those battles, but because of the way the battle system works, you can't just kind of button mash your way through it. You actually have to still do the stuff, if that makes sense. But it seems like that this is going to be Final Fantasy VII with the fat trimmed off. Like, it seems like it's just going to be the meat and potatoes of that game. And I'm sure there'll be sections that you could explore in the actual release, but it seems like they are streamlining the game as much as possible in terms of content.
Just to tell the story. Okay. Were you like? There's so much like. I'm sure you didn't really get a chance to get into how like equipping different types of material work.
Not at all. I don't think I can access the equip menu in this demo. So. Since
we're randomly changing how words are pronounced for some reason, did you get a chance to play Tifa?
I did not. Like I said, it was just that the Scorpion fight. Once you beat it, the demo ended.
Okay, so it was just Cloud and Barrett.
Yep,
just switching between the two.
Barrett sounds just as ridiculous as you would hope. By the way,
all right, hey, Spaghetti. all right. Calm down. Calm down. Okay, all right. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. I already pre-ordered it. So.
The next game, arguably the game I was most excited to play once I learned that it was going to be there, was Predator Hunting Grounds, a game that I was immediately in for as soon as I heard about it.
Please tell me you enjoyed yourself.
I had fun. I did have fun. So I played as one of the commandos. My friend Trent happened to be the Predator in the game that we were playing. Unbeknownst to him, he killed me twice during the gameplay demo, much to my chagrin. So what is cool to see, and they announced this before this gameplay came out, so I knew this going in. If you're the commando team, not only are you faced up against the Predator, but there's also a PvE aspect to the game as well, because you're basically infiltrating a compound, much like they did in the Predator movie of different guerrillas that are in there, and you have to fight them and complete. The way that the commandos win is not necessarily by killing the Predator, but actually by completing their objectives. Basically, if you can complete your objectives as the commando team and then get to the chopper before the Predator kills everybody, you guys win. Or if you kill the Predator, you'll win that way as well. As the Predator, you have to not kill every person on the commando team, but you have to kill 4 people. And not only kill them, but you have to confirm your kill by getting the skull from the commando as well, much as the Predator likes to do in the movies. So I got to see the Predator being played while I was waiting for the demo, and then I can speak from the commando perspective. So the Predator obviously has their suite of abilities. So they have like the stealth camouflage, they have the thermal imaging, they have like the blades for melee combat, and they have the shoulder mounted launcher. They can also run across the treetops as the Predator. You can pounce from the trees onto people as well. But the Predator has a stamina gauge that if like when you're in active camo, your stamina gauge is depleting, and so you can't just spam these abilities willy-nilly. Like you have to be more strategic about it, much more than I thought you would have to do as the Predator. And his stuff's not overpowered as well. Like his rocket launcher is not easy to aim accurately because the shot actually takes a fair bit of time to travel to the target. So you kind of have to like lead your shots almost. With that one. You can't just snipe people from far away and have it be no problem. So it is much more balanced than I thought. The commando, there's a couple different classes that you have available to you. So that determines your different weapons and things like that you're able to get. Talking to each other is key in this game. We did not do a good job of that, and that's probably why that a couple of us were able to get murked so easily to the Predator.
In a one-on-one encounter between a commando and a Predator.
Oh, the Predator will kill you one-on-one. That is not the situation you want to find yourself in, because they can kill you in a couple of melee slashes, and you need to, and they have a lot more health. Plus, the Predator can regen health as well, whereas the commandos have to pick up like med packs and stim packs and stuff like that in order to heal up on their side. So it looks cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what the game could become, because I could see them easily putting in tons of maps, tons of different skins and stuff like that to kind of sustain the life of this game. And it's cool too, because the commando part is actually first person, whereas the Predator obviously is third person gameplay. So depending on which side you're going to be playing on is going to change the experience a little bit. I had fun. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good game, and I'm looking forward to that coming out whenever that drops next year for sure.
Boy, what an idea! Especially with like, there was a brief era when games like this, where it was multiple people against one overpowered being, were available, and like nobody thought to do that with this franchise.
Well, I think it took something like Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th to be successful.
Yeah.
To kind of put 2 and 2 together. I'm just glad they are sticking with the theme of the first movie though. Like that's what's important to me, is that it's super accurate.
Well, I mean, DLC, they're gonna have fucking hot ass Los Angeles. you're gonna have a Danny Glover stand-in just glistening sweat all over the place.
So that's very cool. The last thing we're going to talk about, Borderlands 3, got my hands on it, got to play it. I played as Zane, because I'm probably not going to use Zane when the game drops, so I wanted to use someone that I wasn't going to be playing as.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were eyeballing Zane.
I always play that class, but I want to try something different this time. I was actually, so if you go to Gearbox's website, you could actually, they have the skill trees on there and they're interactive, so you can actually make builds right now if you want to. And I was fucking around with a lot of Amara's shit, and she actually looks really interesting in some of the different abilities that she has. So with Zane, of course, because he's the only character that can do this, I went with the 2 action skill loadout instead of the action skill and grenades. So I had my Digiclone and I had my Sentry bot that would fly around as well. The game plays like Borderlands. Like, I don't know if anyone's expecting the world to be revolutionized by this game. It is still very much Borderlands at its core. Having the different fire modes on the weapons were neat. Having more chatter from your character is interesting. That's something that that was very noticeable while you're playing over, character chatter in other Borderlands games. The humor's still definitely there. I enjoyed the special abilities. Zane's ability to instantly swap places with his Digiclone is a cool way to kind of get yourself out of action if you need to, if the heat's on a little heavy. And then the Sentry was nice as well. That game looks so fucking fun, and I'm also excited by what they showed this week. So they showed the new Proving Grounds mode, which is going to be endgame content for the game, which is a kind of like speed run arena mode of sorts to try to get good loot. And then they also showed off the Mayhem game mode, which kind of looks like the Torment difficulties that Diablo has for endgame content as well, where you can boost the challenge and also get better rewards as you go in Borderlands 3. So did you guys have any questions about that at all?
Nope. I haven't played Borderlands, so
I mean, you play Zane. Like, Zane was literally the one person that I really did not want to play in Borderlands. But no, man, I'm super excited for it. I'm getting ready to hop on and see these different builds that I can pick as Amara, because I usually don't play melee characters and first-person shooters. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I'm curious to see all the other stuff that she can do. And the game comes out in like less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Mark in the game, in the Dense Pixels group, asked if the Super Deluxe Edition is worth the extra $40 Canadian that it's going to cost. It's also an extra $40 American over the price of the base game as well. We talked about this last week. It's hard to justify the extra expenditure because the season pass will probably be $30 if I had to guess, and the other stuff that comes with the Super Deluxe Edition, I don't know if you're going to need that stuff. Like, it's just extra bullshit that you're not going to use past the first couple hours in the game. So for me personally, I would just get this. You just get the standard version and wait for the season pass and get that if it's something you want. Let's see here. He also said, should they even bother with an Xbox One version? Yes, they should. And
oh, come on, yo.
Well, and Gearbox even, I mean, they said that they are looking, they want to do cross-play if it's possible. Like, that's something they want to get to with this one. So you might get to play with all of us. You never know on there. John,
doing cross-play.
They might. I mean, that's the way the winds are blowing. You never know.
Yeah, it ain't blowing fast enough.
Johnny says, does Final Fantasy VII play more like Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 15? I've played neither of those two other games, but if I had to guess, it's probably more like Final Fantasy 15 than Kingdom Hearts 3.
It kind of looks like it plays like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's what it looked more like.
But I played like 15 minutes of Final Fantasy 15, so...
And finally, Johnny asked, what bad or lackluster game made you Brad face the most? There is one very specific game that I have in mind for this topic. Shenmue 3. Holy shit. They showed us an extended trailer of that game, and tell me why it just looks like a remastered version of a Dreamcast game that they're putting out. Micah, it's 2019, and the characters' mouths don't move when they're speaking dialogue in the game.
Come on.
Are you serious?
I shit you not. Like they're moving a little bit, but they're certainly not moving in sequence with the words that are being spoken on the screen. And I'm not talking about lining up. I'm talking about the speed at which the mouth is moving is not 1-to-1 with the speed of the way the words are being said.
So
that's embarrassing. How much is that game?
I believe it's a full retail release, sir.
I'm gonna expose myself.
Oh my god!
All right, I pledged $29 to Shenmue 3 via Kickstarter, and I am looking forward to getting that $29 back.
So, Mike, we gave you grief for not supporting Shenmue 3 when you asked for many years for a new Shenmue 3, but I have to say, at the end of the day, it appears that you might have been right about this one. Because this game comes out in about 2.5 months. And
oh shit, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like.
If I'd have bought that, oh man, you'd have heard me all the way down here, me screaming at the top of my lungs about how pissed off I would be with that goddamn game. And how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet they just forget about the whole Lon D killing your dad thing? Like, that's never gonna be resolved for me. Some dude just murdered your father, and then all right, whatever. On to the next thing. Got some forklift driving to do. Fuck that game.
It does. Every time I see that game, it looks awful. Like it looks terrible. And it's been like what 5 years in the making, and that's what they give you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now that being said, the gameplay, the game that looks the coolest that I still have not actually seen like legitimate gameplay of, which is a little surprising as well, considering the proximity to its release. Ghost Recon Breakpoint looks fucking awesome. Show me what the game looks like. I'm tired of watching fucking trailers with John Barenthal in it for that game. Because that's all I've fucking seen. That's all they show.
Does he still refer to everyone as Red?
I don't think so.
Red! That's what he did in Daredevil Season 2.
Oh, okay.
He didn't know Daredevil's a name, and apparently Daredevil is too many syllables for thick-headed ass John Barenthal. So he just referred to him as Red.
But yeah, so like I said, Ghost Recon, I am actually very intrigued about that game, but it comes out in a month, and I don't think I've seen like an actual gameplay demo of it at this point.
Have I seen? I think I've seen something.
We probably have, but it's still not. Yeah, it's not.
I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about it.
That's because Ubisoft doesn't care about selling their games at launch anymore. Their games have such a long dovetail to them at this point, like because they keep supporting them with extra content that they probably don't care.
Well,
so we'll see. But yeah, so that's what I got a chance to play. Looking very forward to Borderlands. I think we have one show between that coming out and then, which is our next show is our 300th show, folks. If you can believe that.
Jesus Christ.
So technically more because we don't number the special shows and stuff like that, the E3s and things of that nature. But still, number 300 next week. That is it. If you hung around this long, thank you for hanging this 2-hour plus long episode. Make sure you use our Amazon link, densepixels.com/Amazon. Don't get free next day shipping, you bastards. You don't need it right away. Get the free Super Saver shipping. 3 to 5 days is fine. Make sure you join our group, densepixels.com/fans. Follow us on social media. Subscribe on whatever app you use for your podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow Terrence on Twitch, Apparition410. Follow Carrie on Twitch. Sup, it's Carrie.
Yep.
That's enough labor for you guys out there on this Labor Day that we have podcasted on. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all three of you guys for joining us for this marathon show. We'll see you all the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
See ya.
Take it easy.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.